time for another SAT Q&A episode. In this episode, we're going to be going over another student essay that was sent to me. I'm going to talk about it, give it an approximate grade, and give some advice as to what can be done to improve it and what the essay does well. Now, if you're interested in getting your essays graded, this is a service that I offer through the members area of Reason Prep. So go ahead and click on the link that's in the description to find out more about that. Basically, when you join the members area, you can send me as many essays as you'd like, and I'll grade them for you, give you feedback, and basically help you improve on your essay. So let's talk about this essay sent to me by one of the members of Reason Prep. The assignment was, are people better at making observations, discoveries, and decisions if they remain neutral and impartial? Okay. Now, this essay overall is a really, really, really good essay. I'd say it's certainly in the 5 to 6 region. Whether it gets a 5 or a 6, I mean, it depends on who's grading it sometimes, which is kind of the unfortunate fact, but definitely has the potential for a 6. And maybe with a tweak or two, definitely would be in that range in a solid way. So this is a 5 to 6. Let's talk about first what the essay does well, and it does a lot of things well. So first, the argument is clear. Well, actually, first, let's read through the essay. That might be helpful, so you can see what the essay says. Throughout the years, objective reasoning has been long sought after in both schools and academic research projects. However, this has never been fully achieved due to the opinion-based nature of humans. Whether it may be in a high school setting or a million-dollar scientific research lab, objective research can be said to be merely an idealistic theory due to human nature. Personal biases are inevitable. Whether it may be a high-tech lab full of expensive supercomputers or an old, meager, dusty high school classroom, people's personal perception would forever play a role in the research process. For example, just recently my teacher divided our large information technology class into 3 groups to measure the speed of the old school's computer processor using imported equipment from New York City. As we each took turns measuring the speeds, everyone had their own interpretation of the results, and each person suggested a different way they considered the best way to measure the speed. Everyone failed. Each person had their own perception of how the project should be done, and no one thought to be objective while following the rules that were taught to us just a few weeks prior to the project. Human nature will forever take hold when an individual's input or interpretation is needed. As previously mentioned, objectivity is just as impossible to obtain in a scientific research laboratory. Even with all the training scientists go through in their careers and told repeatedly to follow certain procedures and interpret things a certain way, biases will occur at some stage of the research process. Although these biases can in some cases jeopardize the findings to be gathered from the project, this bittersweet characteristic we all possess is what makes us human. Scientists may come close to achieving such objective results desired due to the iterative nature of some research projects, but as aforementioned, unless we give up every thing that makes us humans and become brainless steel robots, biases will occur and impartialness will not be fully achieved. To conclude, human by nature are opinion-based creatures who see the same thing in many different ways based on their individual perception. To want full objectivity is to want a brainless steel robot to do the research. Okay, so overall, I'm sure you can see really good essay for many reasons, so definitely in the 5 to 6 range. So what does it do well? First, the argument is very clear. We know what the person is trying to say, and it's right here. Objective research is merely an idealistic theory due to human nature, so we have a clear argument and a reason why, and it connects it to something greater, right, to this idea of human nature and what's natural to us. So that was really good. Structure is really good. We've got 2 examples, a nice conclusion, and a good intro. The examples are really good. So this first example, I think, is the better one, and I'll talk about why in a second, but the second example isn't too bad either. 2 good examples. They relate clearly to the prompt, relate clearly to the explanation of the prompt, so overall really good there. And then, back to structure. Transition sentences are really good, so here's one, here's another, so really gives the reader a roadmap as to what's going on in the essay. And then finally, the word choice and sentence structure is really good. Good use of vocab, good varying of sentence structure. So as an example, so notice we have this longer complex sentence and then followed up by this short sentence. So it's that variety in sentence structure that really helps an essay flow. And then overall, good flow, good progression of ideas. So it really hits the mark on pretty much everything we need for a really solid essay. So a couple places to improve to really put this into the solid 6 region. As I said before, the first example was good because it was specific and detailed. The second example is good in the sense that it's at least pointing to something, but it could use some more details. So one thing, if we had some time to edit this or add information, let's not use blue. If we had more time to add information, I would definitely add some details or at least be more specific. Oh, I can't spell. Add details. at least be more specific in this example. So we're talking about scientific research, maybe picking a particular scientific research project or a particular event from the history of science or something, whatever it might be, just to emphasize this and add a little bit more detail to it, because as written is a bit general. Not that it's a bad example, it just needs maybe a little bit more detail. And then the second minor point is there are a few moments, I don't know if it was just a transfer to the text or what happened, but there are a few moments where words were left out, there were some typos, things like that, some grammatical issues. So you want to just polish that up as much as you can, just to make sure that you don't get marked off for excessive grammar or spelling mistakes. So just keep that in mind too. But overall, as I said, really good. Keep going with this approach to the question and you'll find success for sure on the essay. So if you have any other questions, either the person who sent this to me or anybody else, please let me know. And if you have any other questions you want me to talk about in the Q&A series, contact me as well. All right, talk to you soon.